Welcome to the battlefields of World War II. In this series, we will be looking at a massive amount of conflicts in chronological order which occurred during the span of World War II. We begin all the way back, when things start to escalate in Asia during 1937, and go all the way to 1945 at the end days of the war. Each conflict will be briefly introduced with information mainly provided by Wikipedia. The battle will then be fought out in Battlefield 1942. All theaters of war, including the Pacific, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and Africa, will be dealt with. Be warned that there may be historical inaccuracies when it comes to the battles that are provided, but the main purpose of this series is to entertain, not to educate. For your epic journey throughout World War II, look no further. Enjoy. The Winter War was a military conflict between the Soviet Union and Finland in 1939 until 1940. It began with the Soviet invasion of Finland on the 30th November 1939, and it ended with the signing of the Moscow Peace Treaty on the 13th of March 1940. The League of Nations deemed the attack illegal and expelled the Soviet Union from the League on the 14th of December 1939. The Soviet Union sought to claim parts of Finnish territory, demanding, amongst other concessions, that Finland seize substantial border territories in exchange for land elsewhere, claiming security reasons, primarily the protection of Leningrad. Finland refused and the USSR invaded the country. Many sources conclude that the Soviet Union had intended to conquer all of Finland and use the establishment of the puppet Finnish Communist government and the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact secret protocols as proof of this, while other sources argue against the idea of a full Soviet conquest. The Soviets possessed more than 3 times as many soldiers as the Finns, 30 times as many aircraft, and 100 times as many tanks. The Red Army, however, had been crippled by Soviet leader Joseph Stalin's Great Purge, with more than 30,000 of its officers executed or imprisoned, including most of those of the highest ranks. The Red Army in 1939 had many inexperienced senior and mid-level officers. Because of these factors and high morale in the Finnish forces, Finland repelled Soviet attacks for several months, much longer than the Soviets expected. In combat, the biggest cause of confusion amongst Finnish soldiers were Soviet tanks. The Finns had few anti-tank weapons and insufficient training in modern anti-tank tactics. However, the favored Soviet armored tactic was the simple frontal charge, the weaknesses of which could be exploited. The Finns learned that at close range tanks could be dealt with in many ways. For example, logs and crowbars jammed into the bogie wheels would often immobilize a tank. Soon Finns fielded a better ad hoc weapon, the Molotov cocktail. 80 Soviet tanks were destroyed in the border zone fighting. By the 6th of December, all the Finnish covering forces had withdrawn to the Mannheim Line. The Red Army began its first major attack against the line in Taipale, the area between the shore of Lake Ladoga, the Taipale River and the Suvanto waterway. Along the Suvanto sector, the Finns had a slight advantage of elevation and dry ground to dig into. The Finnish artillery had scouted the area and made fire plants in advance, anticipating the Soviet assault. The Battle of Taipale began with a 40-hour Soviet artillery preparation. After the barrage, the Soviet infantry attacked across open ground, but was repulsed with heavy casualties. From the 6th of December to the 12th, the Red Army continued trying to engage using only one division. The Red Army next strengthened its artillery and brought tanks in the 10th Rifle Division to Taipale. On the 14th of December, the bolstered Soviet forces launched a new attack, but were pushed back again. A 3rd Soviet division entered the fight, but performed poorly and panicked under shell fire. The assaults continued without success, and the Red Army suffered heavy losses. One typical Soviet attack during the battle lasted just an hour, but left 1,000 dead and 27 tanks strewn on the ice.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Battlefields of World War II. Today we have a very special battle because we have the first battle of the Finn Wars, or the Winter War. The mod is actually called Finn Wars. Now, I know I said in the previous video that I would do a video about the Pacific battle, but after taking a closer look, it's actually this battle that took place before. This is one of the first battles fought with the Winter War on December 6th, I think, where the defensive line that they set up. and the Finns were actually able to hold this throughout the whole war, which is why I'm actually playing as the Finns for starters. Now I'm not entirely sure about this though, because the problem with the mod is that some of the maps oh, incoming. It's just a driver though. Some grenades should do some good stuff. He got out of his vehicle though. Where'd he go? Now you can see actually that the AI, oh shit! He throws a grenade too. There we go. But yeah, the problem is that a lot of the maps are not necessarily named after the battle, but have more simpler names like Cold Bullet. This one is called Crossing the River, but with a little bit of like wet finger work, you know, the kind of searching, you kind of figure out for some battles which one it is, because they have like set up defensive structures and it's besides a river. I figured this is that defensive line. They do have a few tanks at their disposal. I mean, and remember that they talked about the problem that the Finns had with not having anti-tank weapons. The reason, by the way, why all the AI over there is assembled is because there's barbed wire over there, and the AI, because of that, doesn't know properly what to do. Wait, where am I? This is the other side. Oh yeah. And so a lot of them don't go through that. Now this mod, the download link to this mod will be in the description below, of course. Wow, that was a diving run they did there. Will of course be in the description down below, but it actually has more maps than will be shown here, and the reason for that is that some of the maps are multiplayer only. Oh, now you can actually see that the Russians or Soviets are making a push. Yep, they are coming out of the woodwork now. Yeah, that whole group over there actually split up as well. Oh, and now they took it. Now the next battle that we're actually going to do, the next video, is actually not going to be that Pacific battle yet, but it's actually going to be a battle at a lake where pretty heavy combat occurred, but also one of the most famous Finnish soldiers participated in. Namely, I don't know exactly his name. His name is pretty difficult to pronounce, but it is the Finnish soldier who got the nickname White Death for having 505 confirmed kills, and some documents or some people even state that it's over 800 kills. He was a sniper, and he traversed the area on skis, and because of that he could like make a kill and then immediately change position and get another kill without the enemy even knowing where the shot came from, and therefore he got the name White Death. Of course also because of the high number. But he is one of the most famous stories in this particular war fought. And again, this is also one of the reasons why I'm kind of like proud of this series. You know, the fact that we take a look at this part of the war. I think, for example, if some other people's if some other, oh, dude, they are on skis. Holy shit! That is cool. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that. That is amazing. Looks a little wonky, but the fact that they added it is amazing. Out of the way! For Finland! Now, the amount of information that is available on the Winter War is actually pretty limited, so if definitely some people know some more details or some stuff, definitely sharing it is appreciated. If, for example, fans of this mod, of the Fin Wars, know the exact battles of certain maps, that will also be appreciated. For example, I believe this Fin Wars, or the Winter War, lasted until 1940, but there are several skirmishes fought between the Finns and the Soviets after that. There was one in 1943, there's one in 1944, and I believe that the war was over by then. Like, there was like a peace contract signed. Or at least there was a contract, a Moscow contract or something, and yet there were those who fought against those who you know, invaded their country, their oppressor. And then I believe late 1940, maybe even 45, I think 44, they actually have a skirmish with the Germans as well. But I would say 90% of the battles fought by the Finns were against the Soviets. Really, really cool that this is added. Again, if you know any particular like battles, maps that have cool mods or maps available, please share in the comments down below as well. There was I got a comment saying somebody like, I bet you're not going to do the Battle of Britain. That person is absolutely wrong, because not only is Battle of Britain a vanilla map that comes with Battlefield 1942, there are some custom maps for it as well. So we're definitely gonna have a gander at it. I'm playing this single player, by the way. This is not a local multiplayer one. The reason why is the local multiplayer actually does not work properly with the AI. Oh. Alright, let's push him back. Now, one thing, of course, that is interesting, I kind of wish I kind of want like a vehicle, but I guess the Finns did not really have a lot of vehicles. I mean, it's interesting to think about, right? How the Soviets had tanks, and in the beginning, the Finnish did not even have, you know, any defense against them. Where tanks, of course, were already used in World War One. But it was that same strategy when the first battles in World War One were fought that included tanks. The opposing team could not even do anything, you know, because they did not have anti-tank weapons. But it's the same thing with here, right? Where once the tanks came up close, the Finnish had actually opportunities to deal with the tanks, you know, to make them immobile, or that sort of thing. You can see that the pictures of like the weapons do not match the weapons I get. I think that's probably because this is such an early stage in the war. It's kind of like in World War One as well, where in Battlefield 1 there's so many different weapons included in the game, but in the early days there weren't that many available. There are some battles going on over here. Look at that, they're doing a massive charge. Let's help him out here. Oh, actually, grenade time. Ooh. Does it? No. I was about to say, does it have like a turret or a machine gun? That would be perfect. And it'll just line up. Turkey shooting. But yeah, again, as I said before, the you know, people have been asking for things like the Spanish Civil War, the War of Italy and Ethiopia. Again, if there's mods out there or maps out there, I can do it. Like this mod, for example, gives us a perspective of the war that rarely sees the light, and I am delighted that we can add it to this awesome series. I was thinking about it too. This series is oh god. Ugh. Actually, we're about to win. I'll continue that story in a bit. As we switch to the Soviets. And the Soviets seem to have actually a lot more weapons and vehicles available. Alright, now we find ourselves at the hands of the invader. Oh. You can see the barbed wire I was talking about. So this prevents a lot of AI units in the beginning to go through. Okay, well he goes through. Oh my god, we got hit. Good shot. So yeah, what I was talking about is that this series, what's unique about this is, for example, that some of the lesser known battles probably will not get that many views, but it is this interesting where it goes chronologically, right? So each episode is like a different battle in and of its own, and because of that, there will of course be famous battles, think like Pearl Harbor, D-Day, Dunkirk, that will probably get a lot of views. And so hopefully what will happen in the future is that this series might get some spikes where you know, some people will discover this series and then be like, oh, I wanna see the battles before this, and, you know, see what happens. I had in the previous episode, which one was that? I believe that was the Fall Weiss, the second Polish invasion. I had a comment saying like, oh my god, I've never seen this game before. It looks very cool. So I think a lot of younger kids these days. Oh shit, there's actually a tank there. I would like that very much. But yeah, I don't think they know this game. And you know, I did get a comment once saying like, "Ooh, this game looks really ugly, so I can't really play or watch it." Look at these crappy planes. I love it. Again, I love the changing technology that we're going to see in this series. Here we go. Look at this. There's like 2 turrets. What the hell? Very interesting. And, you know, it's the same with Dunkirk, for example, where Dunkirk, now because of that movie and because of, like, you know, pop culture is a big influence on our lives these days. You know, now it's a very famous thing. You know, a lot of game updates or like books and stuff now got highlighted with Dunkirk, but before that it was a big deal to like the people from the UK, but other than that people didn't really know a whole lot about Dunkirk. Oh, Jesus. It's even like a tank with not, I don't have shells, just have like machine guns on top. Oh, you can see though there's battles going on in the distance. There's some custom explosions added with this map, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm happy that with this series, some people are for the first time being treated to Battlefield 1942, which is of course where it all began. I think Battlefield in and of itself is very famous and everybody knows what that is, but the first one, it's a different story. Here we go. Death to the finish. Get these bodies off my tank. Oh my god, I even have them on the back. This guy's still alive. Oh my goodness. Oh no, it's Piotr. Oh, poor Piotr. Oh my god, I will not believe how useless this tank is though. I mean, if you have 3 people in it, it's a different story. But with 1? Oh, Jesus. Oh, yep. No way. No way in hell. You can actually see how difficult it is to push through as the Soviets with this. Do they still have the plane? No, they still have a few undertakes. Oh, look at that. This one actually has a proper kind of a... Let's actually use one of the planes. Again, I'm not very good at flying. Just be warned. Let me... Okay. Have no bombs? Okay. That's a cool effect, though. We have one more allied plane in the air. I did see... I think there was another one at our base, right? Maybe that's actually the other one. Die! It's so cool. Like, I wish you could fly in third person actually be effective, but not really. Whoa, they blew up the bridge! Holy crap, I've never seen that before. Oh my goodness. Wow, this mod is amazing. It has like the ski details. It has new effects. It has destructible environments. This is incredible. This is a must download, people. Holy crap. I don't even think the first Battlefield 1942 had destruction in it. Like, this must be some script or something. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever had a match where something actually blew up. Incredible. Now we have some pretty exciting battles coming up in the near future as well. We're of course very close. This is December 1939, so we're very close to 1940. I can tell you that the amount of battles we're going to get in 1940 is significantly higher. I think we had like 5 or 6 battles in 1939, and we have more than 15 in 1940. One of them will be in Norway. Very, very interesting. Again, not very well highlighted, but the scenario that we're going to next in Europe will be Holland. My peoples, originally from Holland, so it's very, very cool. Didn't last very long. We lasted 3 days, but there were some battles fought that got highlighted. And there you go. The other thing, though, regarding maps, what I said earlier, like if you know a good one, please let me know. So there is this this mod called I think it's called Gloria Victorious. It's very, very cool. It's this like Polish mod that completely centers on the battles fought during that invasion of Poland. So kind of what we already passed. Yet in one of the videos I talk about the battle at Westerplatte, and they actually have a map where they do that battle. Now you think like, okay, why am I not doing that map then in the series? But the reason for that is that it's multiplayer only, and that means that it doesn't have bot support. That's also why, for example, with this mod, there are more maps available, but some of them are not single player only and they don't support bots, so I won't do them because I will only do bot matches for this series because that makes it easier. Anyway, guys, that was it. Like I said, the next video will be another Winter Wars one, and after that I believe it's going to the Pacific. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next battlefield.